The Motul Course de Monterey is the next IMSA race on the calendar, as the championship heads to Northern California for another exciting event. This race has a lot to offer, and so in this race preview, I'll break down everything you need to know about the 2024 edition of the Motul Course de Monterey powered by Hyundai N. This race will be held at the iconic WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, a track known as one of the best in the United States of America. As we're heading into this race, we're coming back from a simply entertaining Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. There are spoilers ahead for that race, so I highly recommend checking out my race review, which is linked in the description and the top right corner if you haven't checked it out. The GTP car that appeared in victory lane at Long Beach was the number 01 Chip Ganassi Cadillac. Renger van der Zande and Sebastian Bourdais took that car to its first win this season. Meanwhile in GTD, it was the number 89 Vassar Sullivan Lexus that took the win. Heading into the race at Laguna Seca, Cadillac have a very strong opportunity to take the victory, considering that the car that won in Long Beach, the 01 Cadillac, also took victory here at Laguna Seca last year in 2023. Let's take a look at the classes and cars that will be competing in this event in May. IMSA has decided to bring 3 categories to the Motul Course de Monterey. This includes the top GTP category and the 2 GT classes, GTD Pro and GTD. Last year, the LMP2 cars were out on track for this race, but for this event in 2024, they won't be. The next time we'll see LMP2 cars will be at Watkins Glen. In terms of the entry list, there won't be any major changes from the full season grid, including 10 cars in GTP, 9 in GTD Pro, and 15 in GTD. All the entries across these 3 classes combine to create a 34-car grid for the Motul Course de Monterey in 2024. The only major change is that the number 96 Turner Motorsports BMW, which achieved second in GTD in Long Beach, will be running the number 557 number on the car this weekend. This number is a reminder for how many times the American squad has raced with BMW in sports car endurance racing. Also, an important fact to know heading into this weekend is that Ford will be running a custom livery on their Mustang GT3 entries in the Pro category. Ford is celebrating the 60-year anniversary of the Mustang, with a multicolored livery being featured on the Multimatic entries. This livery is a combination of multiple other designs used on other Mustang entries in the past from the 1960s to the 1990s in motorsport. Not only will this livery be featured here at Laguna Seca, but also on the 2 cars for the Detroit Grand Prix, which is the next IMSA weekend held in Ford's home state of Michigan. Now, I want to mention that Laguna Seca's sports car endurance race, currently known as the Motul Course de Monterey, is not a new event to motorsport. In fact, the origins of this sports car endurance race predate the Raceway of Laguna Seca. The first time this race took place was in 1950 on the streets of Pebble Beach in Monterey, California. That race was won by future Formula 1 world champion and 24 Hours of Le Mans winner Phil Hill, driving a Jaguar XK120. The race would continue to be held at Pebble Beach for the next 6 years, until 1957, when the soon-to-be iconic Laguna Seca Raceway was established. Victory in that first race went to Pete Lovely, driving a Ferrari 500 TR. Ever since that year of 1957, Laguna Seca has continued to play host to this sports car endurance race, and many manufacturers have taken victory. 3 of the most successful brands that have done so have been Audi, Porsche, and Acura. Out of the 3, Acura has been the most recent manufacturer to dominate the event, their last win coming in 2022 thanks to Wayne Taylor Racing's Acura ARX-05. However, Acura has yet to win here in the GTP era. Last year in 2023, the battle for the win was between Cadillac and Porsche, and I expect in 2024, those 2 manufacturers to once again be the ones to beat. Although, I would definitely not count out Acura and BMW from the fight in GTP, as those 2 manufacturers could easily get a win. That's how close this category is. So what about the track itself? Well, as I've briefly explained before, WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca is very iconic, but why is it so special? Well, that's simply because of the very dangerous corner called the Corkscrew. The The Corkscrew has one of the biggest elevation changes across any circuit in the world. The elevation change is 59 feet. In other words, that's about as tall as a 5.5-story building. But besides the Corkscrew itself, WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca also has some other interesting corners, such as the Andretti hairpin, which is the first braking zone heading down into Turn 2. WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca is located in the northern part of the US state California, and it's about a 15 to 20 minute drive down Highway 68 to the coastal tourist town. The track was opened to the public on November 9th of 1957 and is currently FIA Grade 2. Laguna Seca has 11 turns that cover the 2.2 mile track. That's 3.6 kilometers for those using that system. Besides IMSA, other important series come here as well, such as Moto America and the NTT IndyCar series. Let's now take a look at the balance of performance heading into the Motul Corse de Monterey for round 4 of the season. In the GTP class on the power side, the Acura ARX06 has been given the most power, with the BMW M Hybrid V8 continuing to be given the least. However, on the weight side of things, BMW has the lightest car, with Acura having the heaviest. Only Porsche and Cadillac have been changed when it comes to the BOP. The 963 and V Series R have lost weight compared to Long Beach. When it comes to the weight in the GT field, it's the Ford Mustang GT3 that will actually be the lightest car out on track, with the Mercedes AMG GT3 now the heaviest. As for the championship standings, this is a list of the leaders in each of the IMSA categories heading into this Laguna Seca event. In the GTP class, after a disappointing result at Long Beach for the number 40 Acura, the WTR entry is no longer at the top of the standings, and after yet another successful podium, the number 7 Porsche Penske is at the top of the standings in GTP. The LMP2 standings remain the same after Sebring, considering that these cars will not be racing until the next Michelin Endurance round. Era Motorsport is currently leading the way with the number 18 car. In GTD Pro, it's the number 62 Risi Competizione Ferrari at the top, but I don't expect this entry to continue leading, considering it's not here at Laguna. But Windward Racing's Mercedes will be, and this entry is currently leading the GTD class. The 57 car was triumphant at Daytona and Sebring, and hopefully it will achieve another successful result here at Laguna Seca. Now, it's worth mentioning that the IMSA series participating in the Motul Corse de Monterey event, the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, is not the only series that IMSA has racing this weekend at Laguna Seca. IMSA has 3 support series coming to this track during this weekend, including the Michelin Pilot Challenge, the Lamborghini Super Trofeo Championship, and finally the Mazda MX-5 Cup. These 3 support series events that are taking place at Laguna Seca are definitely worth checking out. These 3 series provide some of the best racing we see in IMSA. But when it comes to the big championship, let me tell you when it takes place and how you're supposed to watch the race in 2024. Well, first off, there's the WeatherTech Championship qualifying sessions taking place on Saturday, May 11th. Qualifying will be separated into 2 different sessions, one for the GT classes and the other for the GTP class. Qualifying will begin at 4:30 p.m. and last until 5:15 p.m. local time. By the way, Laguna Seca is in the time zone of PDT, otherwise known as Pacific Daylight Time. The race itself, which is approximately 2 hours and 40 minutes long, will take place on Sunday, May 12th. The broadcast for the race will begin at 12 p.m. and last until 3 p.m. local time. Speaking of the broadcast, if you're a viewer in the United States of America, you'll be able to watch this race on the Peacock streaming service. This is an NBC broadcast. As for everybody else across the world, it will be live on IMSA TV. That is an IMSA broadcast. So that officially concludes my race preview for the 2024 Motul Corse de Monterey, powered by Hyundai N. Will you be watching this race at Laguna Seca, and which manufacturer do you think will win overall? Well, let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, I suggest subscribing. The reason why is because I make endurance racing content mainly on WEC and IMSA every week. And if you want to watch more videos, there's options on your screen. But for now, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one.